When I was 14, my anxiety was so paralyzing I couldn't walk into school without hyperventilating. My parents didn't believe me. Dad said dogs were too expensive. Mom said I was exaggerating to skip class. So, when my cousin Jake called and said a trained emotional support lab named Scout needed a home, I didn't ask. I just brought him home. My parents lost their minds. Dad pulled out a blue notebook and gave me 1 week to prove I couldn't handle the responsibility. He was ready to document every mistake to justify getting rid of the only thing that made me feel safe. Day 1 and 2, he wrote down things like forgot water bowl or tracked mud. He was looking for failure. But while he was looking at the carpet, Scout was looking at my heart. That first night, for the first time in years, I didn't have a 3 a.m. panic attack. When my chest got tight at midnight, Scout didn't wait for a command. He jumped on the bed and laid his heavy, warm head right on my chest. His weight forced my lungs to expand. I woke up looking rested, and Mom just rolled her eyes, calling it new toy excitement. Day 3 and 4 were the real tests. I went to math tutoring and a high-stress meeting with the school counselor. Usually, these ended in tears and nausea, but Scout was there. Every time I started bouncing my leg or my voice got shaky, Scout would gently pull my arm or nudge my hand. He was a biological alarm system for my panic. The counselor called my parents that night and told them, your daughter is a different person with this dog. This isn't a phase, it's a bridge. Dad still held on to that notebook, but the complaints were getting pathetic. Left toy in hallway. Dog hair on couch. He couldn't find a single flaw in me anymore. Then came night 6. The 1-week trial was almost over. At 2:00 a.m., I heard a familiar sound coming from my parents' room, the heavy, ragged gasping of a panic attack. It was Dad. Before I could even get out of bed, Scout was already at their door. I watched from the hallway. Scout climbed onto their bed and laid his head on Dad's chest, exactly the way he did for me. My dad, the man who said dogs were too much work, didn't push him away. He just reached out, buried his hand in Scout's fur, and let his breathing sync up with the dog's. I didn't say a word. I just went back to sleep. The next morning, the blue notebook was gone. I walked into the kitchen and found Scout's bowls moved to a permanent spot in the cabinet, and a basket for his toys sitting right next to Dad's favorite chair. Dad didn't apologize, and he didn't give a big speech. He just looked at Scout and said, I guess he's staying. Now, Dad is the one who takes Scout for walks every evening to decompress. I didn't just get a service dog, I gave my dad a best friend he didn't know he needed.